It shows that China is going to increase its production or use of coal by 460 gigawatts of power, and India another 360 gigawatts of power. I don't know what's going to take. The world's not following our leadership. So I'm curious that if we, as 2 or 3 years ago, I raised the same question to you, you're going to get back to me, and I never heard back from you again. And that was that according to the IPCC with the United Nations said that if we terminated all coal-fired power plants in America, so we didn't burn 1 ton of coal in America, the total reduction to CO2 in the globe would only be 0.2%. Do you think that's a measurable impact on the climate of the world? Especially given that the other nations aren't going to follow? So if we terminate 0.2, but yet the other nations of China and India are going to way more than make up for that loss, it's worth it to our economy to put all our people and our coal companies out of work for something that's not measurable?
Sir, I am not looking at making any choices on the kinds of energy that are generated. I'm really trying to keep my eye on my job, which is to try to reduce pollution in ways that are reasonable.
But you are taking out someplace along the line. It was not yours, but others. The Interior just put 33 our coal reserves in the Western coal on federal land. They put it on the shelf and said we don't have access to it to generate power. 40% of America's power comes from coal, from federal lands, and 33% of our reserve comes from federal land, and they just put 33% on the shelf. We can't access it. So it may not be your department, but it's your part of that administration that has this war on coal that is saying we're not going to use coal. And even your successors are talking the same language. I don't understand. If it doesn't have an impact on climate change around the world, why are we subjecting our hardworking taxpayers and men and women in the coal fields to something that has no benefit?
I think, sir, we see it as having had enormous benefit in showing sort of domestic leadership as well as garnering support around the country for the agreement we reached in Paris.
But even though no one's following us, China has doubled. Since that Paris Accord, China has already announced that they're going to put up 360. India has announced that they're going to double their use of coal since the Paris Accord.